In the matter of the people of the state of California versus Oriental James Simpson, case number BA096.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Boom, Taylor, we are back. Welcome to your own show. How are
Thank
you doing?
you. I'm good. I was actually, I don't know, did I tell you already that today is Christmas tree day in my house?
Really?
Yeah, I'm ready. I am done with it not being Christmas. So I've putting up the tree after this, but I've been like putting up ornaments and stuff all day long. Like I've been making decoration, like paper decorations, and I like tie ornaments to ribbons and I pin them to the ceiling and I've been just doing all of that and like got the stockings out. Um, yeah, I'm ready.
So
I'm
here's
gonna do it.
one. You're still celebrating Thanksgiving or
Yeah, of course.
okay. Are y'all doing
Um,
anything?
We are hosting here for Juan's parents, and then we invited some friends too.
Fun.
I don't mind. It's easy. Don't tell my mom, but like, it's not that hard.
It is. It's
My mom thinks it's the
infinitely
hardest thing in the whole entire world, and I'm like, it really isn't. Like, I don't know, it's not that hard.
no. Yeah, cooking a turkey is not that challenging.
Yeah, and like, all the sides take like 4 seconds, and they're easy. And like,
Yeah, it's
I
what
did. Yeah,
it's one of the better holidays because you can literally just mostly enjoy family time and
yeah.
not have to worry about presents and
And you don't have to do anything stupid. Like, if you find that you're baking bread to make stuffing, just like stop and say no.
stouffer stuffing is amazing.
So good. Stovetop. Yeah, stovetop. Stouffer's both of them.
Stovetop. Yep, you're
Whatever.
right. Stovetop.
You take the box of stuffing. If you want to get fancy, which I sometimes do, I'll saute an onion and celery and carrots and then add it to it. But just put water in it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
A can of cranberries. I made my own cranberry sauce one time. It was fine. Can of cranberry, always good.
Yeah, we've figured out how to industrialize this thing enough to where we don't have to kill ourselves.
Yeah, not a big deal.
I do like a nice homemade mac and cheese where you can like scorch
Mm.
the cheese on top and then put some little crusties on it.
I did. I made like Kraft creamy mac and cheese the other day. I had extras, and so I put it in a pan and I added feta and mushrooms. And my husband's dad was like, "This is like a New York Times best of recipe. This is so good."
That does sound pretty good, actually. I didn't
I
think
was
about
like-
feta mixing that well, but it does sound pretty good.
it made it so I'll make it again for Thanksgiving. I mean, I just a box of mac and cheese and I added feta and it's delicious.
Maybe add some jalapenos to see how that turns out.
Ooh, but still not that hard.
Not that hard. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun. You can get creative with this stuff.
yeah,
It's fun.
whatever. Who cares?
Um,
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
so I'm gonna go back to Dallas. I'm basically gonna be in Dallas for like 10 days when I go back for Thanksgiving. I have a conference at the beginning of December, and I got my parents tickets to Andre Bocelli. Andre Bocelli's gonna be
Oh
playing
my
in
goodness, how
Dallas.
cool!
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun. He's at that age where I'm like, we should probably do this.
I saw Tony Bennett one time and it was insane. I was like, this man is so good. It's crazy.
I'm sure. Was he older? Like, I mean, I'm sure.
I mean, it was
He's
like,
been old
yeah,
forever, but yeah.
exactly. Yeah. But I was like, I'm glad I saw him before he died. Cool. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to see O'Mary in New York.
I don't know who that is.
It's a play.
Ah.
And it's gonna be great. I'm very excited. 'Cause I'll be in New York later. Cool. Wait, did I introduce
Yeah,
us
no,
yet?
introduce us.
Hello. Welcome to Doomed to Fail. We bring you historical disasters and failures, and I'm Taylor, joined by Fars. And today we'll hear from Fars. And
Today,
it's November.
it is November. I'm gonna talk a little bit about something that is in the news, and it
Mm,
has to do with gambling and sports betting and all that.
cool.
Um, so I'm gonna start with a little bit of a soliloquy because I'm pretty sure that you and I are like on very different algorithms on
Mm.
social media. I listen to a lot of like manosphere content, and as a result, I get advertised online gambling constantly.
Do you really? I literally never have.
Constantly. Like
My whole algorithm is AI videos of characters from romantasy books making out.
slightly different
So
algorithms, like they're just off by like a very slight margin. I don't know. I'd love to hear from like other listeners. Like, do y'all also get advertised sports betting all the time? Because it is a constant pressure. Also now, when you watch sports like ESPN or if you watch like actual like broadcast uh
I have seen
game.
commercials for it.
Well, no, those commercials for it, but they'll also tell you what the line is on certain gambling things in
Huh.
the middle of the game, in the middle of like whatever sporting event you're watching. Like it's gotten to
Hmm.
that level. of prevalence, and I think it's bad. I
That
mean, we
feels that
just
feels like it should be illegal.
yeah, I think it will be probably in like 20 years we're gonna look back and realize what a horrible decision this was. But like I do think it's bad. Like I listen to like a lot of like financial shows too, just to I don't know, it's just entertaining. And so many people call in being like, yeah, I'm married with like four kids and I make $70,000 a year, and I just lost $5,000 on the Jets game. Like it's like stuff like that. Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, like people are going down the really bad wormholes with this thing. So I ended up like I'm gonna do a story about that, but I pulled a bunch of stats here that kind of illustrate this point. Also, we all know that it's going on because Chauncey Billups was just arrested for like fake poker games
I
with
don't know who that is.
you haven't heard about this story?
Uh-uh.
Okay, so a bunch of like former NBA players and Chauncey Billups is a current NBA coach have been arrested because what they were doing in collaboration with like the mafia was they were hosting these like underground card games where they'd have these NBA players kind of like celebrities who were there and
Hmm.
just get people in, bilk them for all they're worth, and then they would just split the profits. So they got arrested. They did a bunch of arrests on the NBA side there, but I just heard as of like a couple of days ago that the UFC also noticed like some insane line movement with a specific fight, and the kid in the fight just immediately tapped out in the first like round,
At
and then
least try. I mean, I don't know. I
yeah,
guess it was supposed to be the first round or whatever.
yeah, and so and then they called the FBI, and so now the FBI is investigating a bunch of UFC fights. But like, are people showing up and approaching you for like cash payouts if you like toss or throw whatever it's called? I don't gamble. I don't,
Is it throw? I think it's throw, but it's I'm sure it's been happening forever. I feel like you think it isn't happening anymore, but I'm sure it's happened since the beginning of sports.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure it is. It happened with that one NBA referee where it was caught that he was betting on games that he was refereeing a while ago, but that's kind of like where we're headed. I got some stats here that I wanted to read out because I'm not just being like an old man in a rocking chair right now. So in 2020 or sorry in 2018 there was some Supreme Court case that went up about like gambling and who was allowed to do it, what states were allowed to do it. It basically made it so that a lot of states had referendums on their ballots to allow gambling or not. 38 states as of 2018 plus Washington D.C. have some form of legal gambling in them, and as of 2024 94% of betting on sports is all done online. um some interesting stats here was that 1 in 5 Americans now place a bet on sports every year, with the average wager in a year being around $3,300. All of that directly corresponds to increased credit card debt on a per capita basis and reduced savings. So for every dollar, Investopedia looked this up, for every dollar that a person gambles, they reduce their savings by $2. So we're like ending in this situation where people are ramping up credit card debt, not having savings. It's a bad
Looking at your credit
thing.
cards is bad.
Yeah. Can you imagine how dire your situation must be where a 27% interest rate seems like a good, it's crazy.
I know people, because I'm from Las Vegas, I know people who were addicted to slots and had to get help.
Yeah.
Like they just like couldn't stop doing it. And I know people who like won a bunch and then didn't win much after that, like it's just like a whole thing. Except my
Yeah.
friend Jason and his wife, they have the same numbers in Keno, which is like Keno's like lo the lottery every 5 minutes and you can play it at a bar, and they play the same like five numbers every time and they always win, and it's wild to watch it happen.
What is Keno? What do you do? Because they
It's just like
literally
the
just
lottery.
put up,
You just pick numbers, and then they'll if your numbers are picked, you win.
dude, at the gas station down the street from my house, they have Keno machines. It's like,
Do they really?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
It's just like out of 100, pick five numbers, and if you get them, you get them. But they have
Also,
Keno in like every restaurant in Las Vegas. So my friends play it and they always win, and it's wild.
I don't know. Your experience in Vegas must be different. When I go to this gas station and I go inside the store, like the people there gambling they're not driving Bentleys there. Like, you know
Oh
what I mean? Like,
no. No, it's not good.
it's,
There's that's interesting that you have them there because in Vegas, like there are slot machines at the grocery store. But if you're playing slot machines at the grocery store,
that's
I don't
bad.
know. Oh
That's
man.
bad.
I hate to
Um,
yuck your yum, but like you should call a friend.
yeah. Well, one thing was that I looked up was that online gambling is now becoming a problem with teenagers.
Yes.
And this is an NIH study, and they gave a pretty wide range here, saying that I have no way to read this, but the fact that they're actually acknowledging that there's a problem here says something. But they pegged the range somewhere between 1 and 57% of adolescents showing signs of problematic online gambling dependency.
Oh my God.
And I don't know what that looks like in the future for them. Like it sounds like you're just setting yourself up for a really, really hard life. But all of that to say, I have certain opinions when it comes to this topic, and I know I sound like an old man, but I want to tell a story about a guy named Terrance Watanabe. Do you know that name?
Nope. Wait,
Okay,
no. Is he the guy the guy's translator? Otani's translator?
no. Oh, you're talking the Dodgers guy? No, no,
Yeah.
that was another one.
Because that
Was
guy
that
was
another
gambling
one?
away all of that money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was basically not depositing the cash or putting his own account or
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
Okay.
no,
So
this is someone
another
different.
example. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a different one. So I'm gonna tell this guy's story because it's absolutely fascinating. It is the story of the single biggest loser in gambling history. And I want to start out by talking about his dad because his dad is the reason why Terrence had the financial resources to ultimately make the mistakes in life that he did that would make him famous in a not so great way. We'll start with his dad, a guy named Harry Watanabe, who was born in Hiroshima, interestingly enough, and immigrated to the U.S. in the early 1900s. He would settle in Omaha, Nebraska. In 1932, he opened a small trading outpost that was called Oriental Trading Company.
No
And
way.
do you know them?
The Oriental Trading Company, yes.
I've never
You
heard
know,
of that brand.
it's like you can get, I don't know if it's, I mean, it's like a catalog. I'm sure it's a website now, but it was a catalog you got in the 90s and it had like party shit in it. So you'd be like, oh, I want to have a party that's like Lion King, like Florence always does. And you can buy 700,000 Lion King's plates for like $4.
That's crazy. I did
It's just
not
like
know.
junk. It's like, do I need to stuff stockings? Do I need junk for gift bags? Do I just need like bulk junk? Oriental Trading.
It's like Team U.
Kind of, but it's like bulk junk. It's not like,
Okay.
at least that's what it was like in the 90s.
Interesting. Yeah, I never heard of this brand. That's really cool that you know it actually.
I'm gonna I'm gonna probably buy some crap. 50% off. Oh my God, look at all this crap you can
Well,
buy.
you
And
can
$10 off and free shipping. And you can get all this Christmas candy. You can get like 10,000
this
small
is not an
stuffies.
ad for Oriental Trading Company.
I'm sure there's nothing like it's not like ethically made.
This is not an ad.
For $99, I can get 144 Santa Claus and Rainbow Snowman vinyl bendables. For $9, you can get 12 kits to make wreaths. I can just keep reading you stuff. You
You
can
know,
have a Grinch party.
they,
Grinch
they,
party supplies starting at 2.99.
they had a Halloween supply section, and my first thought was, is this where Spirit goes to get all their Halloween stuff?
It actually very much could be.
It could be, yeah. It does look like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can thank Harry. Well, you can thank Harry and Terrence for this. I'll tell you why Terrence is relevant to your part of the what you just said. But Harry started this thing out in Omaha as like just like selling novelty crap,
That's 100. Well,
basically,
good. Then that's the right one.
as a starting point. So Harry would expand the business from this like little general store outpost to being a wholesale vendor of carnivals of all things by the 1950s. He would go on to marry this other Japanese immigrant woman named Fern, and they had three children. Terrence was the firstborn, who's the subject of today's story. Then Pamela and Gordon, and the whole family worked for Oriental Trading. Like the mom was the secretary, the kids worked in
Mm-hmm.
the fact not the factory, but the warehouse. So they all were kind of embedded within the business. In 1977, Harry stepped down from the day-to-day operations and left running the business to Terrence. As a firstborn son, that was kind of what you did. Uh, and he took over at only 20 years old, but he'd been in the business his whole life. He like literally just only knew the business. So I guess at 20 he was able
Ready?
to do it. And he started implementing his own business strategies, and he grew the hell out of this business. Like he did phenomenally well with it. He expanded the market beyond just carnivals to nonprofits, to schools, to churches, individuals, as Taylor just indicated also had interest in buying at that point.
There are like 7,000 options if you just want to have a party that's themed National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation Party supplies.
They're
Maybe I'll
still
put some
doing great.
links on this.
They're still doing great.
Yeah,
Terrance was the one that basically expanded their geography because he developed the catalog model that you just called out.
1,000%. That's
Yeah.
what you'll remember as the catalog. Yeah.
Yeah, so he did that so people could do mail order COBs and things like that, or
Hmm.
CODs,
Hmm.
CODs. Um, and I couldn't actually find a lot of publicly available information on Oriental Trading Company in terms of like the business processes or growth or anything. But what I could find is that some state filings showed that for some projects that they had undertaken that required filing with the state, they had hired about 150 people in the late 80s to early 90s. And then for another project in the 90s, they hired another 600 or so people. It was estimated their annual revenues by the late 90s were in the $100 million range. So he like grew
Hmm.
this thing. Like it became a real like substantial business. Like that's
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, yeah.
I don't even know what that is by today's standards. It's probably like $500 million in revenue on an
Yeah.
annualized basis. In 2000, Terrance sells the Oriental Trading Company to a private equity firm. And again, the terms were not disclosed. So I did some estimating, I did some digging. I know that in 2006, a private equity firm, that private equity firm sold the business to Carlyle Group for 1 billion. So, given averages of multipliers, a private equity will decide to liquidate for, it's
Hmm.
assumed that they paid about $300 to $400 million for the business. So, you know what? I misread that. It's assumed they paid 500 million for the business, and Terrance personally netted $300 to $400 million. That's the assumption.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, he made out good,
Hmm. Hmm.
and he was already rich at that point. He ran the business for 20 years before he
Yeah.
liquidated it, so he already probably had a couple hundred million in on his account. So he was in that uber wealthy status. So it's now the early 2000s. Terrance has liquidated his business and he is just flush with cash. His original goal was just to get into philanthropy. He again, the data on this is kind of scant. We know that he donated millions of dollars to AIDS service nonprofits. We know that he donated roughly $500,000 to the DNC. We know that he was very involved with LGBTQ nonprofits. And he was a giver. Like he was very generous, and a lot of people that knew him throughout his life would tell you that he was an incredibly generous person, which some of the stories I'm going to tell you here later on will show. After a few years of being a philanthropist, he started visiting Council Bluffs, Iowa, which was homes to a Harrah's casino. And I looked it up. It's a 6 minute drive from Omaha, Nebraska to this part of Iowa.
Oh, do they have like super different laws?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. This is when you had to go out of state. So he realized that he loves gambling. He'd eventually start making trips to Vegas, betting big money until some of the major casinos like Caesars and Rio started offering him perks to keep him on premises. So they would comp him 3 bedroom villas, private planes, VIP show tickets. He got $500,000 in store credit at these casinos to use their gift shop. What are you buying at a casino gift shop for $500,000? Like,
That is wild. That is a lot of crap and like maybe some booze. I don't know.
that's a lot of crap for sure.
Hmm.
He just sort of binge gambling at this point. So he was playing slot machines. He was betting $50,000 a hand, single hands on blackjack.
That's wild. Can you
There
imagine?
was
I can't do any of it. I don't know. Are you if you gamble? But being from Las Vegas, I can do absolutely nothing because I get nervous and I hate it and I hate losing money. I don't have any money.
Yeah, no, I did one time I went to Vegas when we were living in LA and I played blackjack. I found the cheapest one at the win I could play, and it was like $50 a hand. And I sat there for maybe 17 seconds and just gave my $50 and left.
Out,
Like it was
out. Hate it.
so this is where the generosity thing happens, and it also shows like how totally out of control this guy was. There's one server who reported that he flipped her a $50,000 chip as a tip for serving drinks. It's like insane money being thrown around here. There's estimates that he was spending somewhere to the tune of $5 million a day on gambling.
Wow.
In 2007, it was
And
estimated.
that's like net losses.
So it's not all losses because I'm gonna describe why it's not here in a second.
Okay.
Um, in 2007, it was estimated that just his gambling activities alone contributed nearly 6% of Hera's overall gambling revenue for the year. Can you imagine how much money must be going through? Like, it's
I mean,
considerable.
I definitely wouldn't yeah, I guess I'd give that guy credit to the gift shop.
So one thing to the credit of Steve Wynn, which is a term I'll rarely ever use in my lifetime,
For real.
he did see what was going on with this guy, and he banned him from the Wynn properties because he was like,
Oh,
"You are not. This is not happy gambling. You are a
something bad's
degenerate."
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in 2007, it was estimated that he had gambled $825 million and had the single year biggest loss ever recorded in human history of $204 million.
Okay. All of that hair's like all over.
So it was at that point, it was mostly Harrah's, Rio, and Caesars because he was banned from Wynn and some of the other properties on
But he's
the
going to
strip.
Las Vegas now.
He's going to Vegas now. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a Harrah's in Vegas as well.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, I think Harrah's owns Rio, so I think they're all kind of a part of one property. Um, some things, some things that were like clear to the people that witnessed this was that he was just like he was on drugs, he was on pills, he was drinking constantly. He'd like gone from this like buttoned up CEO to just like I mean, not to denigrate the guy more than he already has been, but just like a degenerate at this point.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, like I said, like it got to the point where some casinos, namely the Wynn, just outright banned him because they're like, this guy is entirely being driven by addiction and not at all by like having a good time and enjoying himself here.
Hmm.
The Nevada Gaming Commission would eventually fine Caesars $225,000 for allowing him to gamble the way that he was, given how obviously predatory it was, and
Hmm.
because there were claims that they they were plying him with booze and
Of course.
stuff.
That's what they
Like
do.
that's what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like seeing him lose, they're like, "Yep, we're gonna keep floating this guy, keep giving him markers and all that."
Yeah.
Um, he would eventually get sued several times by these casinos for unpaid markers that they gave him. There was one case where he ended up shelling out $114 million for just credit that was given to him to continue gambling. And then he held back a $14 million worth of payments and they sued him for the 14 million. Then this went to court, it was settled, but that was where it came to light that there was a lot of weird shady stuff going on with like how they were getting this money out of this guy.
Yeah.
Um, so by the end of 2007, he'd blown through everything. His 500 million plus dollar fortune was totally gone. Like I said, again, he betted 824 million. He lost 500 million, which means that he probably won 300 million. Like, these numbers are so crazy to me just saying them. It's like,
I
like
know.
what an insane sum of money to just blow through. Um, and he ultimately in 2007 would confess to his siblings like what he'd been doing. It was pretty obvious at that point because he was liquidating everything. His homes were being liquidated, his private planes and cars and all that were being liquidated to kind of fund
Oh my
this
God.
addiction. And they've kind of surrounded him and forced him into rehab, which he ended up going to. It's said that from the day he went into rehab to today, he has not been inside a casino or gambled. So that part of it is good, I guess.
Good for him.
Yeah, he would ultimately relocate to San Francisco to start a new life, and unfortunately, he got hit with prostate cancer. And he's still alive today. And he had to start a GoFundMe to raise $100,000 he needed for surgery.
I hate that
Hate it,
for like a thousand reasons. Yeah.
and now he literally just lives off Social Security. Apparently, that's his only source of income.
Wow.
So and in 2022, the rights to the story were purchased by a film studio. So there's a pretty good chance there's going to be like a story, documentary, narrative movie. I don't know what it's going to be exactly, but there is a good chance the story's going to be made about his life because it's pretty incredible. I actually, in the process of researching this, came across several other people that also had this issue. There was one guy where he walked into a casino with 50 bucks and over the course of like a couple of months turned it into like $40 million and lost it all before the end of the year. It's like it sounds like when you get hooked by this thing, it's pretty bad.
And you're like, oh, if you had just like stopped,
Yeah.
but like, what do I know?
Yeah, I learned my lesson. That one time I played blackjack, I was like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I have done it. I have gambled besides that. I'll do like slots, but I'll like walk in like 20 bucks and just sit and do like slots. I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna lose 20 bucks and see some
Exactly.
fun lights
But,
flash in front of me.
but you're gonna lose $20
Yeah,
like
exactly.
immediately. Yeah.
So that's the story of Terrance Watanabe, and hopefully a cautionary tale. Also, one that I doubt will ever happen again because if you're that successful, I doubt you don't understand the risks of gambling. I mean, the guy was worth nearly was worth $500 million when this all started, and that was like in 2000. Like
I
he was
know.
probably one of the richest men in the world at that point.
Wild.
Oh, and then Berkshire Hathaway eventually bought Oriental Trading Company and bought a bunch of others and consolidated them under the same brand and turned into a powerhouse that I did not know about until I researched this guy's name, even though Taylor is very well acquainted. So,
Um, yeah, just, it's exactly what you explained it. It's just a bunch of junk, but you can make a lot of money if you're selling junk.
yeah, he did good for himself until
Hmm.
he didn't. But yeah, he's 68 years old now. It's crazy because I realized I was like, okay, so he basically for the 15 years had no money and he could finally claim Social Security like 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
All that stupid junk that he bought was like that $500,000. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what a waste.
Yeah. So just don't gamble. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't appeal to me because it makes me nervous.
The sports betting stuff really weirds me out because it's like we're gonna hear so much more, I bet, about this happening because if you think about it, like if you're like it's about in the context of like the UFC because that's the one that came out
Hmm.
recently, but like those guys get paid 12 to show, 12 to win, usually at the undercard. And if someone shows up at your door and like, yeah, you want to make like $300,000 tomorrow, just like throw it in the first round. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like you're talking like a 20-year-old kid with brain damage. Like doesn't
No,
seem
I
that
totally agree.
far-fetched.
No. And like you're not gonna and those are jobs you can't do for very long. So some people are probably like, how do I figure out my future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anywho, that was my story, kind of a shorty, but hopefully interesting, and hopefully a movie will come out. My main thought here, Taylor, was they're probably going to release a movie on him in the next like year or two, and then we can re-release this podcast and say, look, we were ahead of the story.
Perfect. Perfect.
Mm.
Let's definitely do that.
We'll get a huge bump.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I mean, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
I don't know.
don't gamble, and if your kids, yeah, just don't let your kids get into this.
Yeah.
There was a lot more stats too. I didn't even read off. Like it was like what was this one? Yeah, it was the percentage of lower income houses being the ones that do this the most frequently. So the ones who need the money the most are the most likely to end up in this horrible cycle.
Yeah. Because you're like, oh, just like a little more, a little more. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it came out to $72 billion was lost by Americans to gambling or sports betting in
Wow.
2024.
Wow.
So that,
It's
that
terrible.
that's literally just like that much money in people's savings accounts or to their credit card balance just went away
Right.
in a year.
Actually, I remember I was going to say my brother worked at the sports book at a sports book in Las Vegas for many, many years. And he was like, yeah, the people are terrible. The people who are gambling are like, always really stressed out and like, trying to figure it out. Because you just sit there in like a lounge chair and when you watch 300 TVs and you just kind of gamble on everything. But we did it a couple of times. We did it one year on the Super Bowl and it was like will the Super Bowl go into overtime? And Juan bet yes on like the thing. And then it did. And it was also the first time in history it ever happened, but he only won like $4. And I was like, how could you not have won more money than that? Because it's never happened before and it happened. And then another time it was a Kentucky Derby. And it was the Kentucky Derby. I think it was that race, not Preakness or the other one, but where the initial result was wrong and they had to like redo it, like re-look at the like look at the tape and then they give it to a different horse. But my mom and Juan had bet on the horse that won first, and we were like by the pool, and they were screaming and hugging like they had won the fucking $1 million lottery. They each would have won like $300, and they were so excited, and we were so excited for them. And then like again for the first time in history, they like redid the results, and they didn't win anything.
That sucks.
But they had the
That
high for a
sucks.
second, and they were so excited.
Yeah, I would imagine it is. It has to be pretty exciting. I mean, if you do it for fun, okay, it just sounds like it's so dangerous doing it for fun that you can end up like sunk all the way into it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was in Miami, I went to this is crazy. Do you remember the movie Black Mass with Johnny Depp?
No.
It was the
I don't
one
know
where
what
he
that.
plays Whitey Bulger.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
So this is like I don't know 15 16 years ago, but I was in law school in Miami and I my roommate wanted to go see a highlight game. Do you even know what a highlight is?
Mm-mm.
It's those guys who they're dressed like jockeys, but they have these like rackets, but the rackets are like curved to the top. They're like these really tall curved rackets. And you slam the ball against the wall. It looks like racquetball sort of. Um, and I was like, I'll go with you. I've never seen this before. So we go to this highlight place. It's like a enclosed building in the middle of nowhere, Miami. I felt the hairs on the back of my neck just stand up being in this neighborhood.
I have never seen this before.
It's so
When
weird.
you say highlight, it's
Yes.
Jailai. Yeah.
Yes. It's very weirdly spelled.
I've literally never seen this. Well, it's yeah.
And
Um,
we go there and it's at night. It like starts at like 10 p.m. and goes to like 5 a.m. or something. You're like, what kind of sporting thing is this? Like I thought I was going to a competition. You go in there, it's dark, it's dingy, it hasn't been updated in like 70 years. You're watching these people play and you're watching the people there and you feel like what I would imagine like a 1970s porn theater was like. It's just
sure. It was
old
like
men
you
wearing
feel like you're
hats. It's just gross. It's dingy. And there's all these torn up tickets on the ground. You're like, these people are here betting? This is a gambling site. Like they're gambling on this thing. Anyways, I had no idea what I was watching. I watched Black Mass, and in Black Mass, highlight gambling became like a huge thing in like the 70s in Miami.
huh.
And it was being fixed by the Irish mafia in Boston, and that's why all this like weird underground like stuff ended up happening. Why it became this like kind of seedy operation, and that was like a huge plot point in Black Mass. And I realized while I was watching, realized that it was really depressing. And I never want to go back. So that was the whole story.
I can't. It, they have like lacrosse kind of like little nets that catch the ball and the thing. And you're right, they're dressed like jockeys. So weird.
It's really
Not
weird.
weird. I mean, whatever. So different, interesting. Not something I've ever seen before. Huh.
Yeah,
Who knew?
I think it has to be something in like from a South American country, given the fact that
It's
it's
from
so.
Spain.
It is okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
not quite, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, same story with going to like horse races. Like I've been to the horse track in outside of what is it, Pasadena or something? I don't know where that
Yeah, I've
is.
been there too.
Altadena. And even that you're like walking around and like these people are kind of sad. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's like, yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
anyways,
sorry.
if you have a fun sports betting story, tell us.
Yeah, it does. Hopefully, tell me more you won something, and then we'll change our minds and start gambling.
Should we start gambling? Oh wait, never
I
mind.
don't know. Now that you mentioned it,
Let's start gambling on highlight.
like we're in like jail in a year. Like,
Uh,
oh no.
Fixing highline Miami at a CD.
It's
Anywho,
okay.
that's my story. Do we have anything to read out?
I do. I have one thing from me.
Oh, special guest writer.
Special guest me writing in. So I read that book, Sybil, when I talked about Sybil. And in the book Sybil, one of the personalities was reading a book called The Tortoise and the Hare. So I bought that book and I'm reading that right now because it was kind of fun to like read a book that someone's reading in a book because it like really happened.
It's very meta.
So it's like, whatever it's about doesn't matter. So there's a part in it where these two people, Paul and Imogen, are looking at these books for times that they mentioned like tuberculosis. It was based in the 1950s, and they're looking at these books that go back to like, the 1860s that Imogen happens to have in her house. And she finds something, and Paul's excited, and he's like, "Wait, can you find out the date of like this from like the early 1700s on?" And he looks at her, and she looks at him, and she goes, "There is nowhere in this house I could find that information." And I just like laughed out loud because wouldn't that feel nice?
To
If you just
be
like didn't have all the information in
to,
the whole world at your fingertips, you could just be like, I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to find out.
to be able to be oblivious, what a
Yeah.
luxury that used to be.
And it's not even like something important, like whatever. You're just like, you know what? I don't need to know every goddamn fun fact at the moment I need to know it. I could just be like, I don't know. There's nowhere I could find that. I thought that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what the future we're looking at looks like for like
I
teaching
know.
people. Cause it's like, how do you even teach people when they have everything in the world available to them immediately all the time? It's very strange.
I don't know. I don't know.
A bygone era, Taylor. It was a
Right.
bygone era.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's it. Well, thank you. Thank you for your
Thank
story.
you. Thank
Thank you
you.
everyone for
And
listening.
tell your friends, write to us at doomtofeldpod at
Mhm.
gmail.com. Find us on the social at doomtofeldpod. And again, tell your friends.
Yeah, thank you.
Sweet.
Thanks,
We'll go ahead
guys.
and cut things off. And